Hi guys, it's Desiree. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my 2024 reading wrap up.
It was late at night. You tossed and turned as thoughts began.
Alright, hi guys. So it is currently December 31st, literally the day. Literally the day that this video is supposed to be up. And I originally filmed this video last weekend so that it could be up today, and my energy was so just dead. I was so tired when I had filmed it, and I felt like it was only right that I film a more energetic version for you guys in this background, because I feel like we saw this background a lot in 2024, so it only felt right. I decided not to wear makeup for this video because I have to get ready for work later, and I just don't want it to be on longer than I need to. I'm regretting it a tiny bit, but we're embracing the natural beauty, the natural discoloration. I also might need to take a lot of water breaks because I haven't eaten or drinking anything yet today. Alright, so I was watching my 2023 reading wrap up last night because I couldn't remember how I wanted to film this. And last year I did it like by each month. This year I'm just gonna go top to bottom, or bottom to the top of what I read, because I didn't do that much reading. I did set my goal to 6 books like I said I was in that video. I think it's just something I'm going to do probably every year. And I read 17 books. So, and I also got on Fable. I haven't been using my Goodreads as much. It's connected to my Kindle account, so I just leave it. But I got onto Fable. I also have my monitors if you see me looking over here. This is my account if you guys want to follow. I'll put it in the description. I just want to say the reading summary it gave me was freaking hilarious. It says, romance rebel, your plunge into love's chaos headfirst, ignoring all warning signs. I'm worried a book without a steamy twist might bore you to tears. And I wonder if I still have the screenshot from when I first signed on. If I do, I'm gonna put it up of what they gave me. That shit was hilarious. It like was to the T. So this is what like my monthly overview looked like. I didn't read any books in September, or finish any books I should say in September, and honestly I don't know how accurate these trackers are, because I can't remember if I did a lot of vlogging this year, like logging what I read and what I didn't read. But I'm gonna use my story graph because that's what I kept most up to date. The first book that I finished in January, or the 2024, is Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. I gave this book 5 stars. This was a book that I carried from the end of 2023 and finished it in like the very first week of January. This book was so good. This is the second book in the Bright Fall series. I think I've talked about this series. I've definitely done a reading vlog for Iris Kelly. I don't remember if I did one for Astrid Parker, but I love this series. I said this is my Chestnut Springs. It is so cute. It's a queer friend group, and there's 3 books. Follows Delilah Green, and then the second book follows her stepsister, Astrid Parker, and then the last book follows another friend in the friend group, Iris Kelly. So Astrid Parker is Delilah's stepsister, and Astrid's always been straight as far as we've known. In the end of Delilah Green Doesn't Care, or whatever, so I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's like right when you open up the book, like you're gonna find out. Astrid was supposed to get married. She calls off the wedding, and she is just trying to throw all her focus into her job, which is renovating. And she gets the opportunity to renovate this like pretty big house in their town. What's her love interest's name? Hold on. Jordan is the granddaughter to Prue Everwood, who owns the Everwood house. And Jordan comes back into town after going through a pretty bad breakup, and she's gonna help rebuild the house with Astrid, because Astrid's an interior designer and Jordan is like a contractor, like she does like construction and stuff. And they are filming an episode pretty much like HGTV. It is so good because not only do they have like the on-screen drama and chemistry, they also have it off screen, and they have little moments, like even when they're mad at each other, they just have little moments. The book was so cute. I especially gave it 5 stars because the exploration and discovery of Astrid's relationship and figuring out that she is bisexual. I think she's bisexual. I don't remember if they clarify it in the end or not, but because it's been a while. But just her going through that whole discovery of realizing that she's falling for Jordan while also trying to figure out her life plan, because a lot of Astrid's life has been planned out for her by her mom, was just so good. The writing was fantastic, so I give it 5 stars. The next book I read was Real by Kennedy Ryan. According to my Fable, the 3 authors that I like read the most this year was Kennedy Ryan, Riles Adams, and Skye Von Treason, but Kennedy Ryan being the most because I read 3 of her books. I gave Real 3.75 stars. This was a like Hollywood Renaissance like retelling. It was let me get their names. Neva and Cannon. So Neva Saint gets this opportunity to be the lead role in the biopic of this artist. This is all black romance. It's all black. The whole cast is black. It was just so black. I loved it. They're making a biopic, and Cannon is the like director producer, and he finds Neva like by chance. Like he ends up going to a Broadway show with his friends, and he's like, that's the girl that I want. And so she's so excited. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, but she is dealing with a chronic illness. I forget exactly what it is. I want to say lupus, but I could be wrong. And she's trying to like keep it from everybody, and it causes some trouble throughout the production. The writing style and the story all together, like it was just so beautiful, but I do feel like the book dragged on a lot, which is why I gave it a 3.75. I do feel like I would reread this book. Kennedy Ryan has spoken about there being a second book in this series following 2 of the side characters, which I'm so excited to read about when that comes out. I will definitely do a reading I'll definitely do a reading vlog whenever that happens. I don't think she's announced whether it's going to happen soon or not, because she has a lot of things happening in production. So you're going to take all the time you need. And I have a lot of your backlog to read, so we're good. I don't know, y'all. The angle may have just changed. Okay. So the next book I read was a short story by Riles Adams. It was 8. This short story is just like pure smut. I'm sorry. It is what it was. I needed something quick to finish and something that was going to like pull me back in, because after Real, I felt like I was going to slip into a reading slump. So when in doubt, read one of Riles' books because it will pull you in. Yeah. 4.25. It was short. It was cute. All right. Next book. I read Dirty Kisses by Kiana Wright. This is the first book in the Lion and Mouse series. I had seen so many like aesthetic videos and just like people talking about this all over my TikTok at the beginning of the year. So I was like, I'm just going to pull the trigger and read it. I think I was scared of it because of all the trigger warnings. But when I read it, thank God I looked at the trigger warnings. Definitely look at the trigger warnings. The book was crazy. I believe there's like 8 books in the series. So I haven't read any of the other books from the series. I started the second book and then soft DNF'd it. Like I want to come back to it, but for right now I'm just like I can't commit to an 8-book series. It was so good though. I gave that 4.25 stars. It was fantastic. I like don't even know how to explain it. It's a mob romance, and this was honestly I think my first like mob romance that I've ever read, and honestly 5 stars. Like I will definitely read more. It follows who are our characters? Kashmir, which is our mob boss, and it's the Russian mafia. And what's her name? Emily. Okay, so Emily's older or younger, Emily's brother is constantly getting in trouble, and she's constantly having to fix his problems for him. So he gets in trouble with the mafia, and I think he gets framed for killing one of Kashmir's like money laundering, like money washers, and he's out for revenge. So obviously he goes to Emily because her brother went missing, ran away. And he goes to Emily and he's like, well, because your brother's not here, you're going to have to pay his dues. Which I forget exactly what she has to do to pay his dues. I think like get some information on people. I don't know. I don't remember. But the chemistry, the banter, 10 out of 10. Like, honestly, like, if a book has all banter, no spice, I'll take it. Out 5 stars. Granted, this book had both banter and spice, but it was just so good. And it leaves off on a shocking cliffhanger that drags into the second book, which is where I stopped. But oh my god, like, I'm remembering it now. I need to eventually go back. Like, this year I should probably read the second book, because wow. The next book I read was Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This was the first book in Taylor Herbert's The Brown Sisters. I had been wanting to read this series since I had gotten into reading, and was hoping, praying that it was eventually going to go on Kids Unlimited, and it never did. So I just bit the bullet and bought the book, and it was good. I gave it a 3.75 stars. I really liked it. I did feel like it dragged on a bit, but I really did like it. So yeah, the book was good. I don't know if I'm going to continue the series, because no offense to the other two sisters, their stories weren't really intriguing me much, but really good. The next book I read was Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, and this was the final book in the Bright Falls series. Gave this one 5 stars. Iris meets Stevie, and they both agree to fake date each other for their own, like, each individual agendas. Iris wants to get her family off her back about not being in a committed, serious relationship, and Stevie wants to prove to her friend group that she's moved on from her really long relationship. And, like, the spice was spicing, baby. The spice was spicing. I remember it. I have to think about going back and rereading it. It was great. Okay, the next book I read was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This was my first ever Abby Jimenez book, and I gave this one 5 stars. It was so good. It was fake dating. I think we're seeing a trend here. Okay, it was fake dating. Fan-freaking-tastic the way that the Jacob character was developed in this book. So good. And I did do a reading vlog on this book, because I remembered that when I got close to the end, something big happens, and I was like, yo, I think I'm gonna knock this book down to 4 stars, and then I ended up boosting it back up to 5 stars because it redeemed itself. I like how realistic the ending was, and I guess you can call it the third act breakup. I personally don't like third act breakups, and this year I think was my year of, like, kind of trying to stray away from romance books that had a lot of third act breakups, because I do feel like it's a trend that happens a lot in romance books nowadays, and there's no point to it. But if it's gonna happen, I want it to be super realistic, and this one was. Like, the reasoning for Brianna needing her space and the situation that they were dealt with was so realistic. Loved it. 5 stars. Next book I read was Learn Your Lesson by Candy Steiner. This was the 3rd book in the Kings of Ice series. This is her hockey adult romance. I read the first book and gave that one 5 stars. DNF the second one, and then I gave this book 3.75 stars. This book was following Will. He's like the grumpy, older, like, goalkeeper. Loved him. I had been waiting for his book to come out, so I knew I was gonna read this, although I didn't know how I felt about this series. But the book was so good. 3.75 stars. Fantastic. This next book, I forget that I read it. I sometimes get triggered when I think about it. It was fantastic though, and that is Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. This was the first ever Tiffany D. Jackson book that I've ever read, and she's an author that I had been looking into before I, like, seriously got into reading, because she has this book, Monday's Not Coming. Still haven't read it. Still very much on my I want to read so bad. This book was a roller coaster. There is definitely a reading vlog of me reading this book. It was a roller coaster. The writing was fantastic. The plot was fantastic. Although it's a book that I probably won't ever read again, because it was like that. It put me through so I can't say I won't ever read it again. I probably will read it maybe one other time, but it put me through so much. But it was so good that I couldn't give it no less than 5 stars. Like, it was fantastic. And check the trigger warnings. Check the trigger warnings. It was crazy. Okay. This next book I read was Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. This is the third book that I ever read by Deanna Gray. I read her Mendel Hawk series, which is her hockey romance series. Freaking love. Cannot wait for the fourth book to come out. We'll be doing a reading vlog. Do I need to finish the third book? Yes, but cannot wait. But this was my first time reading her book, and I think this was her first sapphic romance. It was so beautiful. First of all, can we just take a moment and talk about this cover art? Yeah, so it follows Noah Blue and Sage Montgomery. They're both comic book drawers, and they went to college together. They've been rivals since college. Sage, like straight out of college, got this job at this like comic book company, and she's been there for a couple years. Noah has taken another route. She's been doing, I think, like just like odd jobs to make money, but like obviously drawing is her passion, and she gets a job at the same place that Sage does. Not only does she get a job at the same place Sage does, but they end up on the same team writing for the same book. They end up becoming co-writers on technically Sage's project, so she's not handling the news well, but the dynamic ends up working beautifully. Okay, so the next book I read, Hey Kennedy Girl, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I read the first book in the Skyland series. I loved it. 5 stars. Okay, this book follows Yasmin and Josiah. Yasmin and Josiah were married for years. I want to say they were like college or high school sweethearts, something like that. They got married. They had 2 kids. Something big happened. They decided to separate. This book takes place like a couple years into their divorce, and they're kind of hitting the part in their divorce where it's like I think we're both in the healing process that we can start seeing other people, and it gets kind of sticky because they still love each other, and it was just a situation that they needed to work on in their own ways. I loved this book so much. As a child of divorced parents, I felt like getting to read about the divorce from the parents' perspective helped me a lot in processing my own parents' divorce, so it definitely helped a lot, which is why I love this book, which is why I gave it 5 stars. The next book also got 5 stars. This is Unlock My Heart by Simone West. This is the 4th book in Hearts of Calverton. I don't know, I've never heard of this series. I didn't read the other books. I might look into them, but I love this book so much. Granted, y'all, I've read the description, and I cannot remember for the life of me what this book is about. I just know that I gave it 5 stars, and I loved it a lot, because I even said this book really tugged on my heartstrings. I need more black FMC sapphic romances. I cannot remember what this book is about. I just know that I liked it a lot and gave it 5 stars. So, I mean, read it if you want to. So I finally finished in August, y'all. I finally finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I read the last book, As Good as Dead. There is a reading vlog on this channel if you want to go see that. That video had taken months and months to get through. I gave the book 4.75 stars. I'm not going to go too much into my review because it's all in that video if you want to watch it. But good book. I think it was definitely necessary for the series, for the story. 4.75 stars. Alright, the next book I read was This Could Be Us, the 2nd book in the Skyline series. There's one more book, and that's coming out, I want to say, in 2025, possibly. But I read the 2nd book, and I gave that one 4.5. This one follows Soledad, who is Yasmin's friend. And then the last book is going to follow Hendrix, who's also in their friend group. But Soledad and her husband have always had like a rocky relationship. Like you can sense it in Before I Let Go. Like Yasmin loves that man, was doing everything for that man, taking care of the family, holding it down at home, and he just like didn't care. Like, and you could very clearly see that he was cheating on her, and poor thing knew about it. I mean, something big happens at the pretty first couple chapters in the book, and it totally throws their dynamic off. Like, totally throws their dynamic off. I can't talk too much about the book without giving it away. Like, yeah. So I gave the book 4.5. It was so good. I highly recommend reading it. This next book 5 stars. And that is Hoops and Heartstrings by Eliza. I'm not gonna butcher the last name, but this is it. It is pretty much, this is what I wanted Cleat Cute to be about. A good 50-50. 50% of the game, the career, soccer, and then 50% romance. And that's exactly what this book did. It definitely held up to the 50-50. So this is WNBA basketball, I think it was interracial. Yeah, interracial relationship. Beautiful. It follows Ava and they, senior year of college, the big game, the big championship game, rival teams. A big play happens that causes Lex's team to lose the game. Ava's always been her like biggest rival. Ava injures Lex in the game, so she's done for the season. The rest of her college career. The draft happens. They get drafted to the exact same team in Boston. Let's go Massachusetts. And now they're rookies and they're on the same team and they don't like each other, but now they have to be teammates. And it was such a good, healthy balance of, I wouldn't even call this enemies, more so like misunderstanding and also like being rookies, and that's really hard in the basketball world. So they have to help each other out. I feel like you can go into this book not knowing anything about the WNBA because it explains literally everything. As somebody who knows basketball, I still learned more things that I didn't know in this book. So yeah, and 5 stars. I definitely need to order this book because I want it on my bookshelf and I want to be able to reread it. And obviously this year I had a trend for sports romances because the book that I finished right after that was Take Her On by Emily Wright. I gave this book 3.75 stars. Honestly, I'm gonna bump it up to 4 stars because it was really good. I remember I got through 60% of the book within like the first couple days, and then I just needed a break from it, so I held it off for a really long time before I finished it. But it was so good. This one's also like rivalries, same thing. Maya is in her final year of university, and her arch rival Jamie, who goes to her opposing school, again, never have ever won against her. And Jamie gets transferred to Maya's university. They're on the same team. I don't think they play the same position. I think they might actually play the same position, but Maya's in fear that like she's gonna lose her spot to Jamie because Jamie's won championships, is better, wants to do it professionally, whereas Maya is done after college. And yeah, I don't remember what that third point was gonna be. But anyways, it was so good. It was so good, girl. Like the banter, really good. Gave that one 4 stars. I'm gonna bump it up to 4 stars. Alright, so the next 2 books and the last 2 books that I read in 2024, the last 2 books in a series, in an interconnected like standalone series, but whatever. So the first book was Unexpected Affair by Skye Von Treason, and then the second book was An Unexpected Fate. So in Unexpected Affair, I gave that book 5 stars. It was so good. We follow, I can't believe I can't remember their names. I literally just finished reading it a couple days ago. We follow Dr. Miranda Hayes and Lane Remington. Lane is the new CEO of the hospital that Miranda works at. Miranda is like head cardiologist. So Lane is her boss. But before they realize that they're co-workers, they meet at a gay club. Lane is just going there because she needs to blow off some steam. She got into an argument with her boyfriend. She just needs a really hefty drink and is at the bar drinking. And Lane is like, who is that gorgeous girl? And goes up to her and is chatting her up. And Miranda's like, girl, I don't have the time. Not only do I have a boyfriend, I am not here to be flirted with. I'm here to drink and go home. And so Lane like pisses her off, and like Miranda storms out and is like, I hope I never see her again. Bam, it's your boss. And you have to work with her. Oh. And what I liked so much about this first book is Miranda slowly came to terms with the fact that she does have feelings for Lane, and just the way that that was explored throughout the first book was so good. Like, it was slow-ish, like it came on, but like the way that it was just talked about, dissected, was beautiful. I loved it. I loved following that journey. And then in the second book, An Unexpected Fate, they decide to like get together, explore this relationship help Miranda explore what it's like dating a woman. And it gets complicated because it's supposed to be casual, but then it doesn't become casual, and there's just feelings, and it's muddy. And something to know about Lane is she comes from a very traumatic past, so she doesn't like to trust at all. And Miranda kind of helps her change that. It is so good. I highly recommend. They're both on Kindle Unlimited if you want to read them. And I gave An Unexpected Fate 4 stars. The only reason why I gave Unexpected Fate 4 stars is because there was like a crazy, in my opinion, unnecessary plot twist in the book towards the end that I was like, yeah, I'm not liking this. So, okay. And that's all the books that I read in 2024. 18 books, because 18 books to my story graph. But I'm so excited, guys. Like, this coming up year 2025, I'm not putting pressure on myself at all. I literally don't have a TBR. I don't have like expectations. Like, I want to read like 20 books this year. Like, I'm still gonna set the goal to 6 and see where I get at the end of the year. I guess really the only YouTube expectation I want to set for myself is just to upload more videos, even if I think they're cringy and nobody wants to watch them. I do sometimes go back and watch my old videos, so why not just keep uploading them, you know? And yeah, I do want to talk about the books that I DNF'd and the books that I'm currently reading right now. But yeah, let's get into it. I think I only DNF'd 3 books this year. Yeah, okay, so I only DNF'd 3 books. So Rhythm and Blues by Kimberly Brown. I started this and just wasn't in the mood for this. So honestly, I'm going to call this one a soft DNF because I definitely do want to come back to it because it looks interesting. It's been on my Kindle Unlimited and I've downloaded it, just not read it because I just, I'm very much a mood reader. So if I'm not in the mood for something like it, I'm not going to read it, and I don't want to force myself to read it because I just know I'm not going to like it. So yeah, soft DNF'd, but it wasn't so bad. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is the 3rd book after Yours Truly. I tried, you guys. I tried. This was in a reading vlog with another book I forgot I read. But I tried so hard to push through, but I just couldn't. Like, the storyline was making me mad. The writing was making me mad. And I just didn't want to push through and then rate it really low. So I was just like, I'm just going to let it go. But I believe there's going to be a 4th book in the series that I'm excited to read. I think the 4th and final that I will look into and maybe read. And then the last book I read was Hammer Time by, don't know how to say this name, so sorry. I was thinking a lot about the Dirty Air series by, why am I blanking on the author's name, because it was the very first F1 romance F1 series that I read that got me into F1, and I was like, I really want a good Formula 1 series. So I gave this one a try. I just wasn't feeling the vibes, so I DNF'd it. But yeah, as you can tell, my mouth is dry. Oh, also, I wanted to show you guys my Kindle case. Look at how cute. Listen, Target has gotten with it, okay? Yeah, Target has been doing the dang thing with the e-readers. I got a holder that I could put on my bed. I got this case. So cute. Like, they've had a lot of e-reader things, like e-reader friendly stuff. Okay. So, let's talk about all the books that I'm currently reading, going to be starting, and books that are on my Kindle. Alright, so I feel like I'm going to start with my Kindle because it's already open. So I'm going on a trip. Literally, I leave on Sunday. It's Tuesday, the 31st. And I leave Sunday, January 5th. I'm going to Hawaii for almost 2 weeks with my friends. This trip has been planned for 2 years. I can't promise you guys that I'm going to make a video and upload it because I want to enjoy the trip. I don't want to film everything. So, like, we'll see. Y'all may just get, like, a small montaged video. I don't know. But, anyways. So, a lot of these books I have on here that I want to read in the 11-hour plane ride. There. So, right now what I'm currently reading is the Grip Trilogy box set by Kennedy Ryan. They have it on Kindle Unlimited. I'm literally like 2% in. And they also have the audiobook on Spotify on the free audio books if you want to check that out. Another book that I had put on my to read that is now on Kindle Unlimited is Familia by Lauren E. Rico. I'm not going to give you guys the description to all these books. So, Killer Instinct, the second book in Jennifer Lynn Barnes' The Naturals book. I definitely, in 2025, want to get back into The Naturals and, like, read it. At the beginning of the year, I had tried to do a book buying ban, and that didn't work. I lasted a couple months. Okay, I have Winter in Paradise by Ellen Hildebrand. I've never read an Ellen Hildebrand book, but I feel like being in the beach by the summer in a warm climate, I feel like her books would be good to read. And aren't they like mystery-ish? I don't know. I have Don't Want You Like a Best Friend by Emma R. Albin. I know this book is no longer on Kindle Unlimited, but I had it downloaded before it got taken off Kindle Unlimited, so I can still read it until I'm finished. I have Dead Poets Society by N.H. Don't even know how to say that last name. So sorry. Literally, I'm just going to tell you guys all the books that are on here. Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. I think that's how you say that. And that's it. Those are everything that I have on my Kindle. And then I have a couple physical books right here. So I read this one on my free time and then I DNF'd it. But lately I've been back into like, I watched the movie and I haven't fully finished it. And I was like, I know I have the book. I should just read the book. And that is Girl Interrupted. I started this like on my own. Didn't read it as much. I left off in when I originally read it, on page 88. Right here, I literally have like a boarding pass as a bookmark. But I am currently on page 48. So it's literally such a small book that I'm going to read and probably bring with me. So yeah, this next book, never heard of the author, never heard of the series. Literally just walked into Barnes to browse because I hadn't browsed in Barnes in literal months. And saw it, read the back, fell in love. My friend bought it because she wants me to read it so I can tell her everything about it. And that is Everything for You by Chloe Lies. I don't know how to say it. I'm so sorry, girl. But it is, first of all, gorgeous cover. Okay, hello. Okay, there we go. First of all, gorgeous cover. But sports romance, enemies to lovers, and it's 2 guys. And honestly, I don't think I've read a book where it's 2 guy characters. I've read a lot of sapphic books. Alright, next book. This is a book I have been dying to read for so long, and I finally have the physical copy. And that's Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Adlerton. You guys know I have been wanting... Ooh, you guys know I've been wanting to read this book for so long. And I also have it on my Kindle, so I can swap back and forth. This next book, Summer of Broken Rules. I started this, got halfway through, and took it off my Kindle because I started it towards the end of summer. But I definitely want to finish it because it was good. So I want to finish it, and I have the physical book. I don't know if I'm going to bring this with me or just re-download it on my Kindle again before I go. So, like, less books to travel with. But, yeah. This last book. This book I have been dying to read. I watched the movie this year. Didn't finish it, but I know how it ends. Watched the movie this year. Fell in love with the story. Fell in love with the actors. So many edits came up on my TikTok that I'm like, I want to be in this world. When I was at Barnes & Noble's browsing, I asked for this book and Sunburn, and they didn't have Sunburn, but they only had 1 copy of this book, and I was like, I have to get it. It's the last copy. And that is Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistletown shop. If you've watched this movie, it is so good. I am so excited to read this book. I also have the audiobook on Spotify, so I'm so excited to hear the southern accent. I'm hoping the southern accent in the audiobook while I'm reading the pages and like envisioning the characters in my head. I'm so excited for this. So these are all the books that I'm currently like gonna read in 2025, like at the beginning. So alright guys, that is everything. Here's to a great new year. Lots of fun reading, lots of new books, lots of new media to consume. It's gonna be a crazy 4 years now that I'm saying that. We're all in this together, and God help us. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one, whichever one that is.